What is going on, guys? Welcome to Touchdowns to Home Runs, and thank you for clicking on this video. We got a good one for you guys today. So as you all know, the NFL draft is coming up in April, and there are a ton of great prospects in this draft this year, but there are a few guys I have in mind that are really underrated and that people aren't thinking highly enough of them, and I just want to point them out for you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. First up on my list, I got a guy by the name of Clyde EdwardsHelaire, running back out of LSU. 1,414 yards rushing, 16 TDs, and a 6.6 yards per carry average. He was a huge reason why LSU was able to win a national championship this year, and is still being overlooked by a lot of scouts and a lot of draft analysts. Like, you got guys like Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, and Chuba Hubbard all in the draft, but this is a guy that NFL teams need to be able to establish a strong running game and really opening up that passing option. Now, just some of the reasons why he's so good: his lateral bounce and just how good he is at shifting from left to right. He makes moves that are unbelievable, just throws the defender off and able to get around them so easily. Yards after contact is something that he was very good at. You saw this if you watched the Alabama game. Just there were some plays that the Alabama defensive line looked like they had swallowed him up, but no, he was able to take the ball for an extra 5, 7, 10. Even there was one play where he even took it to the house for a touchdown after he looked like he was dead in his tracks. Absolutely unbelievable. And then another thing that was underrated about him, his pass catching ability. 55 receptions for 453 yards. He's not a bad pass catcher. That's something that a lot of running backs, especially nowadays, are being taught to get better at and better at. That's something that scouts are looking for. And he is he's not super fantastic at catching the ball, but he's still there, and he can still make some big plays with his hands too. So NFL teams that need a running back need a guy who's able to pick up lots of yards. He won't be the guy who hits home runs constantly rushing up the middle, but he will be there to rush up the gut, get you a big chunk of yards, and really open up that passing game for you. So NFL teams that need a running back, you guys need a running back like Clyde EdwardsHelaire. Next up, we got a guy by the name of Bryan Edwards, wide receiver from South Carolina. 71 receptions for 816 yards, 6 TDs, and an 11.5 yards per catch average. This is a guy that is being overlooked because of how wide receivers are nowadays in the NFL. A lot of the big names, you get guys who can do a lot with their feet after the catch. And don't get me wrong, Bryan Edwards can still do a lot of good stuff on his feet. Like, he makes big plays with that, but he's not the guy that will impress you because of your feet, like how his footwork is and how he just makes defenders miss all the time. This is a guy that literally catches everything, and I mean everything. I am a South Carolina fan. I've watched like every game of this guy's career. He just goes, throw him any ball, any 50-50 ball he will come down with. That is his wheelhouse. Just his ball catching skills are phenomenal. I made Bryan Edwards top 10 career highlight video. Click that up there to go watch it, and you'll just see, you throw him up any ball, he's catching it with one hand. He's catching it with defenders literally up in his face. He's absolutely unbelievable with that. And then, as I said, he's not bad with his feet either. Like, he still makes defenders miss all the time and everything. And another thing that he's really great at is his route running. Just so crisp, and how to get to the right spot of the field where the quarterback needs to make the throw. He is so good at his route running, and that is why he is one of the most underrated wide receivers in all of college football and should be on NFL teams' draft boards. Last on our list, we got a guy by the name of JaJuan Jennings, wide receiver from Tennessee. He caught for 59 passes, 969 yards for 8 TDs, and a 16.4 average. I don't care who you are, if you're putting up a 16.4 average per catch, that is absolutely phenomenal and good on him. But again, this is just a guy like Bryan Edwards, who I just talked about, whose ball catching skills are phenomenal. If you watch that Georgia-Tennessee game, last minute Hail Mary, who goes up and catches that ball to win the game for Tennessee? JaJuan Jennings. Absolutely phenomenal player in that aspect. He got in a bit of trouble early on in Tennessee, but was able to finish out with a strong career. His playmaking abilities, again, he's good on his feet. He's good at making defenders miss. And another thing that people overlook on him is he's versatile. If you watch the South Carolina-Tennessee game this year, they put him in the Wildcat a ton, and that was able to screw up the defense because he was also somewhat of a passing threat, and he was just so good on his feet and everything. JaJuan Jennings, a guy that teams need to start looking at just because of how good and strong he is at holding onto that ball. A guy that you could just lob up 50-50 balls in the end zone and he'll probably come down with them. And just a guy that you could move everywhere on the field, mess with the defense's heads. And he is a guy, especially if I was an NFL GM, that I'll be looking to take in the late rounds and maybe even free agency. Depends on where he ends up, because people are seriously overlooking this guy. He was a great player. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you haven't already, go subscribe. And if you love football or any sports content, you'll love this channel. We will not disappoint you, so subscribe. Other than that, like, comment, and thanks for watching. See you again.